I left my dream job to make American football videos on YouTube. And that sounds really weird to say because I'm not even American. I didn't even know about this sport until I was 20 years old. But here we are, 100,000 subscribers. And normally I'm known for narrating these athlete stories. But today, I'm narrating my own story. And it all starts in the Netherlands because that's where I was born and raised in a Moroccan family. And at 15, I found a sport that became my world. It's called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I became obsessed. I was competing. Thought I was gonna be a world champion one day. And slowly I started realizing, hey, I don't think I'm gonna be a world champion. So I was just going to university, just living a normal life. And then one of my friends, he came up to me and he recommended me this Netflix series. And at the time, I didn't know he recommended me the best series I've ever watched to this day. That series changed my life. That series is the reason I became obsessed with American football. The reason this is my job now. And that series is called Last Chance U.
We is man, who is man? To put the fear of God in these motherfuckers.
Man, what a show. I remember I was watching it. I was so confused, right? Like in the Netherlands, we don't play for our school. We play for a club. So the concept of playing for your school was already so confusing, but I found it so amazing. Like, I had no idea what a receiver was, what a quarterback was, but I knew the players. And I got really connected to the players because of the storytelling. That kind of got the ball rolling. I was like, man, this sport is kind of cool. Let me dive in a little bit more. I don't think I've ever watched a video on YouTube that's about like schemes or routes or whatever. I just watched stories about players. And I remember one of the first players I really connected with was James Conner. And that was because he beat cancer, right? And I found it an amazing story. And now I'm watching the Pittsburgh Steelers and I'm just watching number 30 on the field. That's the only guy I knew. I didn't even care who won. I just knew number 30 in his story. I was 20 years old at the time, right? And I even thought about playing myself, not gonna lie. I thought I was gonna make a run for the NFL, but I was a little bit too scared to really commit. Because at the time, I was a little bit more introverted. I wasn't really somebody who chased their dreams, who was a risk taker. I was a little bit more in my own comfort zone. I was going to school, getting good grades, trying to make my family proud. You know, my family's Moroccans, a little bit more. Get to school, get good grades, get a good job. So that was kind of what I was doing. And then I had this really, really weird thought in my head that I wanted to go to the US and experience this American football culture. Also this campus, like this school culture up close. My university had like this partnership program where you can go to other universities. And my mom was so nervous and she didn't understand. It's like, why are you going by yourself to the US? I really wanted to go. Nothing was going to stop me. I really wanted to go. So I started researching all these universities, their football team and how big is the campus, what's the campus cultures like, and I had to submit a top 3. Number 1 was University of Florida. I wanted to be a Gator. I already knew that, okay, I'm going to go to this school. Like I put it at number 1. I wrote a really good motivation letter. Long story short here, I didn't get into UF and I was really disappointed. I was like, damn, I really wanted to go to this school. I already envisioned myself going to the stadium, the tailgates, the parties. I was so excited and I didn't get in. I was so disappointed. Eventually, I got into a school that I never heard of. And this school didn't even have a football program. It's called UC Santa Barbara. I was like, man, they don't even have a football team. The whole reason I wanted to go to the US was because I wanted to see American football up close. How did I get here? You know, this is 2021. So this is the year after COVID. I wake up one day, a week before I was supposed to go, and I get an email from the counselor saying, sorry guys, the US just became a high danger zone because it went from yellow to orange, which means all the exchanges are canceled. And I remember reading that message on my phone and I swear, I got so stressed. My heart was beating so fast. I didn't even know what I just read because at the time, this was my life. I really looked forward to it every single day. I was watching videos. I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, I'm gonna go anyway. Like I can't believe. There must be a way, right? There must be a way. And then I heard about this kid who was already in the US the week before because he was traveling with his parents and they told him like, hey, you're already there. We can't like pull you back. Like you can just do your study abroad. And I was like, man, I got to get to the US as soon as possible. So I booked a ticket the next day to go to LA. And at the time, my parents weren't even in my house. They were still in Morocco, and I really wanted to say goodbye to them because I planned it in a way where they would be back home and I could say goodbye. I really wanted to embrace that moment of saying goodbye to them because I'm from a close family. The next day, I was on a plane by myself with a big-ass suitcase, and I landed in LAX. And I never forget this moment where I was at the airport and LAX is really chaotic. And I was like, man, what the fuck? I'm in the US. There are so many people here. The language, the people. I booked the Uber. I was staying in a hostel in Venice, and I was just sharing bunk beds with people because at the time, I saved some money delivering burgers before I went to do the study abroad thing, right? So here I was in a hostel in Venice. It was kind of sketchy. At night, one time I heard a gunshot, and then there was police, and I was like, man, bro, is this America? Is this the America that I saw in movies, you know? I was just counting down the days that I can get to my dorm at Santa Barbara. So finally, the semester starts, I get to my dorm. I have amazing roommates. They're all from the all-American, right? So they're all American kids going to UC Santa Barbara. I was in a room with 2 other people. So I had a bunk bed and a single bed. I was there the earliest. I took the single bed immediately. I became really close friends with one of my roommates, Ethan, and he was a huge Denver Bronco fan. We used to talk football all the time, fantasy football, and it was so cool for me to talk to somebody about football. I would go to classes. I would talk about football with my classmates. So it was really nice to talk with people about American football, man. Then I went to games. I went to UCLA. They played ASU at the time, and I was shocked. I was like, wow, you guys have this privilege, this blessing of going to a football game of your school. Then I went to Denver with Ethan. We went to a Broncos game, the Chargers versus the Broncos. Man, what an experience that was, man. I remember the players, they were running through the tunnel, and then the national anthem and the American flags. It was such a unique experience that I'll never forget. It was my first NFL game. I came back home after the semester. I was a different person, right? I was a lot more social, and also learned about entrepreneurship in the US, because in the US, being an entrepreneur is so much more encouraged, right? Like, I didn't even know what entrepreneurship was. Nobody in my family is an entrepreneur. Nobody has their own business. So I didn't even know there was a path you can choose in life, right? I just didn't know. I just knew, like, get a job. When I came back, I started to try some stuff. So I started some online stores. I even had a UFC podcast or MMA podcast for 2 years with my friend Amir, and we did pretty well there. I went to some UFC events as like press, so I was there asking questions to fighters. Then I started editing. I started cold emailing these people, and here I am. I was editing for Demetrius Johnson for a long time, one of the best MMA fighters ever. So my life was going really well, and then I was finally making a bit of money where I could live comfortably and save a bit. But still, I wasn't really fulfilled, to be honest. So I had to make a really hard decision, and I cut down some of my clients that I was editing for to have more time to start a new venture. And I was like, okay, what should I start? And I remember Naval Ravikant. He had this quote where he says,
find what feels like play to you, but looks like work to others.
And I came up with More Than Athletes, this channel. I love watching these stories about players, documentaries, reading autobiographies. This is something I did in my free time just to get to know the stuff I don't have access to, right? Like the locker rooms or just recruiting, something I'm very interested in. And I was like, man, I love those stories. Maybe I should make them and share them with people. So that's exactly what I did. So I started making videos on TikTok and YouTube, and slowly the ball started rolling. People are watching. So right now we're at about 4,000 subscribers. Yeah, I just hope one day I can make like a show out of it. I can do like day in the lives, move to the US. But for now, it's all a vision. Just a matter of putting in the work now and making it happen. So maybe I look stupid right now talking to a camera about stuff that's just here, but it has to be here before it can be here, you know? And slowly I started making money. And at some point, I was making the same amount of money with my YouTube videos as with my editing videos. And then I did it again, but just a little bit more. So my YouTube money was more than my editing money. And my editing money at the time was like, I think the $2,000 a month. I was kind of just living paycheck to paycheck. And I was like, man, this is an opportunity. People are loving my content. I'm gonna go all in. So I quit editing for Demetrius Johnson and these big channels. People were confused, like, bro, you're really gonna give that up? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna build this to a big media company. I can see it, I can feel it. So that's where I made the decision to go to Bali. That's where I'm at right now. I'm in Bali, Indonesia, because in Amsterdam I was paying like $1,300 a month in rent. So yeah, that just leaves some grocery money, and that was it, right? So I knew how I wanted to live in an environment where I can save some costs and just reinvest into the channel. So I started to hire people to help me, like writing and editing. So I was spending money And then all of a sudden, I realized videos get demonetized on YouTube. So I was losing money. And now I'm losing money in Bali. And I'm like, what the fuck? What did I just do? I have 36 videos on this channel, right? And 12 of them are demonetized. 1/3, which is crazy. Some of my videos that have 1 million views are demonetized. Tough word, bro. If you're a sports creator, there's one type of sponsorship that everybody is kind of going after, and it's the biggest bag, the most money, the longest deals, and those are gambling deals. But for me, I never really wanted to promote something to the people that are kind of allowing me to make this dream a reality, right? I'm making videos about American football because you guys watch, you guys like, you guys comment, you guys subscribe. I'm not even necessarily anti-gambling, where, you know, I've been to Vegas, I've had fun nights out with my friends, but promoting it to my audience, I just can't do it, bro. I just can't do it. So at that time, I had to make a decision like, okay, am I gonna, business is kind of falling down, should I just take this deal? And I didn't. And then these gambling companies throw a lot of money at you, bro. Like, I think in total, I rejected like $50,000 of these gambling sponsorships, which is a lot of money. And that money could be very, very helpful for me in this business journey. I want to get to the US. Getting to the US requires a work visa, which is expensive. I need an attorney. I'm looking into that right now. I want to grow this company. I want to make it a serious media company. And for that, I just need money. Like, I'm declining all the sponsorships. But I'm like, man, I need to grow this business. So, and I really believe that there's a version out there of me who builds this company to a multi-million-dollar media company. Everybody in the sports scene knows it, and they've never done a gambling ad. I know that version of me exists, and I know when I get there, I'll look back and be like, proud of myself. Like, I didn't do it. I didn't promote any harmful behavior to my audience. So that's my story, man. That's where the business is at now. I want to get that work visa, and I know I'm gonna get that work visa, and I know I'm gonna make this happen. And I know all of the things I said, where the shows with the athletes, building IP, it's all gonna happen thanks to you guys. So let me know what you guys think of this video. Thank y'all so much for supporting me, getting me here. You guys are making me live my dream, you know. So, and like always, have a blessed day.